Traffic news from NevadaBike.org on KWNK 97.7 FM. I'm Kai Plascon. Right on. Instead of getting stuck in traffic to the Reno Tahoe Industrial Center, just take the train. Well, that's one idea being considered in two, count them, two proposals. One of them is by the Regional Transportation Commission, and the other one is by Tesla. The train would run from downtown Reno using existing tracks. Tesla is funding one study. The RTC, State, and Story County are covering the cost of the other study, which is anticipated to cost $800,000 just to see how it could work. A semi-truck hit a cyclist and then fled near I-80 and Vista. The cyclist died. At last report, the police are still looking for the semi-truck. A driver hit a protester on a bike in downtown Reno on Saturday. Footage shows the cyclist was stopped in a crosswalk partially in front of a car that was stopped when the driver hit the cyclist and then turned and drove around the cyclist and fled the scene. In Las Vegas, more than 108 children were hit by cars in 2025. That's double the number in 2024 and 2023, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. One was hit by a school bus, another by a reckless driver, and a girl was killed when a driver blocked the bike lane and she had to ride out into traffic to get around the driver. Parents are taking matters into their own hands, volunteering as crossing guards. Drivers hitting more kids on bikes is because bikes are getting more popular, according to the school district. In Washoe County, there were more than 50 e-bike and e-scooter crashes last year. E-bikes can be impounded and parents can be fined if their kids are riding non-compliant e-bikes now. That's in South Lake Tahoe. There is a free family-friendly community ride every Wednesday night. It starts at sunset at Believe Plaza. We'll see you there. That's it for traffic news from Bike Life Radio. Listen every Sunday at 5:30 on KWNK 97.7 FM. I'm Kai Plascon. Right on.
Oh, yeah. That was so good.
Dozens of Northern Nevada cyclists gathered on Saturday for a ride in memory of Alex Pretti. The organizers say it's a fitting tribute since Pretti was a backpacker and cyclist.
I didn't know him, but I've seen information about him that he liked to do a lot of bikepacking and riding off-road and commuting and stuff like that.
The Reno ride is one of over 200 nationwide. It started at Mayberry Park, then followed Mayberry Drive for a few miles, and ended at the Believe Plaza downtown. Some riders expressed their thoughts with upside-down American flags, while others displayed signs supporting Pretti or criticizing ICE.
They are just a rogue state at this point with no checks on their power. They're not being prosecuted when they break the law and when they murder people in cold blood. So
Another writer says she has a personal connection to the shootings in Minnesota.
I have friends in Minneapolis and they say it is horrible right now. It's very scary.
Kai Plaskin with the Nevada Bicycle Coalition says the Pretti ride sends an important message.
I think it's community and paying attention to what's happening to our neighbors, regardless of where they're from. Stand up for them, protect them, and that people shouldn't be shot in the back.
Other cyclists also voiced their displeasure with ICE.
We would prefer them to leave, so politely, they can go.
I just hope that they don't come here and do the same thing they've been doing in Minneapolis and Portland and LA and all the other places they've been.
Covering the story, Alan Bean, 2 News Nevada.
Listening to KWNK 97.7 FM, Bike Life Radio from the Nevada Bicycle Coalition. I'm Kai Plascon. Right on. Today, we are at Mayberry Park. We're honoring a hero. Alex Pretti was killed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Minneapolis, shot in the back as he was trying to put himself between a protester and ICE agents. What did they do? They held him down and shot him in the back 10 times. Cyclists are joining at Mayberry Park in Reno today to honor the life of Alex Pretti. It's happening all across the United States today. Alex Pretti was a bike packer. That's my understanding. I gotta admit I haven't done any research into this and his life, and most of us just know what he did what this hero did, and to protect free speech and protect people from government overreach. And so we're going to talk to some people at this protest today and at this honoring of the life of Alex Pretti. Amanda Hodel, I believe, put this ride together, and so we're going to see if we can find her first. You're listening to KWNK 97.7 FM, Bike Life Radio.
Hoadley.
Amber Hoadley,
Yes.
right? Amber Hoadley. And we're all in Mayberry Park right now. What are we doing?
We are just gathering to honor and remember Alex Pretti, but also the 6 other people that have lost their lives to ice this year. Just as a cycling community, Alex was a cyclist. We just decided we want to do a peaceful ride, gather together, and then we're also taking donations for the Nevada Immigration Committee. So we'll be taking some donations for that and just getting out and getting to share our voices and participate in protests safely and quietly and calmly together.
You're the organizer, right?
I am the organizer, yes.
What made you decide to do it?
I was at work on Monday or Tuesday, and I was thinking about how I work at Patagonia, and we adopted a trail, and I was originally thinking, it would be cool to do something with the trail for Alex, and then I was like, well, he was a cyclist. I was like, we should do a bike ride, and around that time I went online and I noticed, we were thinking about doing it Friday, and I saw around the country that there are bike rides that are being hosted today, specifically the organizer of bikepacking.com and Angry Catfish made some posters for Alex. They've been sharing them around, and the bike community just kind of all collectively decided that we want to do a bike ride on January 31st. And so there's actually over 250 rides happening today in 43 states, last time I counted, which was last night. So cities all over. There's one in Carson today at different times, but I think everybody's just coming together to do the same thing, and it's really exciting to see the energy and the love, and
Yeah, Amber Hoadley.
Yes.
You came up with the idea and then realized lots of other people have had this idea. And what are you hoping we kind of get out of it today?
I think just coming together and being able to do something in your community feels really tangible. It can feel like the world is really big and far away, and it feels like it's hard to make an impact. And so starting with something small like a bike ride with your friends is just a really cool way to start and get the conversation going, and people might ask questions, and you get people talking about it, and maybe people don't really know what's going on, and you can sort of share that, and it's just a cool visible way to be able to just speak up and share your voice.
Yeah. When I introduced the show, I introduced Alex Pretti as a hero. And do you feel the same way, or are there some other perspectives? Is there another way of presenting him?
I mean, I didn't know him, but he was a cyclist, he was a nurse, he was a healthcare provider, and he wore a lot of hats, and it seemed like he cared really passionately about what was going on, and the fact that he wanted to stand up and speak his voice and say, hey, what those people are doing isn't right. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong, and it's really, really brave. It can be very scary to do something like that, and so I just think, I think he cared a lot about people, and that was kind of my takeaway from some of the stuff that I've seen.
Amber Hoadley, the organizer of the ride at Mayberry Park to honor the life of Alex Pretti. 250 rides happening all across the United States today. Do you hope that? Would you like to see more of Alex Pretti in people, everyday people?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So he's kind of an inspiration for you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been able to do what he did, so I think I'm inspired by him just standing up for himself and his beliefs.
Excellent. All right, so do you think that you'll organize more things like this in the future?
I hope so.
Yeah?
I hope that people see us out riding and having fun and seeing all different bicycles and all different shapes and sizes of people and maybe different outfits and different ways of riding, and just saying like you can just go for a bike ride even if it's not very fast and not very far. It's like just really nice to be outside and enjoy the weather and exercise and meet new people and be involved in the community. And Reno has a pretty good bike infrastructure. Like we have a lot of bike lanes and a lot of protected bike lanes, and it's really a nice city to commute in. I really love commuting, and so hopefully people see us out there and see us smiling, and they want to do the same thing. And yeah, I'd love to do more of them for sure.
Amber Hoadley, organizer of the Alex Pretti Memorial Ride. I don't know, am I pronouncing that, or is that what we're calling it? Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Is there anybody else that you think I should talk to while we're here? Anybody who stands out?
Steve is the owner of Free Lap Bike Shop, and he reached out to me when he saw that I was wanting to do the event, and he said he wanted to support it and come out, and so he's sort of co-leading it with me, so he'd be a great person to chat with.
Okay, and his name again is
Steve.
Steve.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really weird car noise in the background. It sounds ominous.
An electric car.
I see Cayman Livonian from the Truckee Meadows Bicycle Alliance. So I'll go and talk to Steve. You're listening to KWNK 97.7 FM Bike Life Radio. Steve Barnhill, right?
Yeah, that's me.
And you are an owner of a bike shop, right?
I am, yeah.
And what are we doing here today? I guess, people who've been listening, they know what we're doing here today. We're honoring the life of Alex Pretti.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different way of seeing him and his life, and what they know about him from what they've seen on, viral videos. How do you see Alex Pretti?
He just seemed like any one of us. Like, he was a VA nurse, cyclist, somebody that was in our community. So, it just seemed like he could have been any one of us in the cycling community. So, it's just like us.
Who stood up for what he believes, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see more of that in people?
Yeah, definitely. In people in the cycling community, in the nation at large, I think we definitely need to stand up for what we believe in and for what's right and what we morally think is right. So, yeah.
So, there's quite a few people here, and it's not even noon yet. So, what do you think it's going to be like today, this ride? I've never done a memorial ride before.
Yeah, this is actually our first time too. I mean, I've done a couple of critical mass rides in the past, and this is definitely something that we felt like we needed to do, just to be in solidarity with everybody in Minneapolis and the whole nation. It's just the right thing to do to show solidarity and support.
What's the name of your bike shop?
Free Lap Collective.
And where is it?
It is in Reno, in South Reno, in the South Creek Shopping Center.
What's the idea of the Free Lap Collective?
We're kind of a boutique, so it's not your traditional bike shop. Like, we primarily do service and custom builds for people. So it's kind of more of like a little art space than an actual, retail store.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you've done critical mass previously, Steve, right? Critical mass rides here in Reno or somewhere else?
Yeah, here in Reno. Yeah. In 2020, the primary one we did was the George Floyd protest ride. Kind of emulating that with this in terms of the route and the vibe and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what is the route? What are we going to be riding?
So we're going to head from here, Mayberry Park, down to Midtown. We're going to ride through Midtown and then up Center Street through downtown, up to the university, and then we'll come back down Virginia to City Plaza, and then we'll end there. And I think there's a protest going on there right now, so we'll kind of link up with them, and then, yeah.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even know that there was a protest yesterday. I didn't know there was a protest today. I knew that there were some kids walking out of school, but, it's interesting because I feel like people are tied in with protests. Either they are or they aren't, or they're tied in with community. And I'm tied in with the bike community, so I knew about this, but I don't know about other protests that are going on, which is interesting because it kind of we're siloed a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, totally. And the media coverage has been pretty minimal on a lot of it, so that's been frustrating. But if you know the right people and you follow the right people, then you can get it on the ground floor and make a difference and see what's happening. So we're glad to be out here.
Yeah, so follow your bike shop, right?
Yeah, yeah, if you want to. Yeah, if you're into it. But yeah.
Steve, say the name of your bike shop again.
Free Lap Collective.
The Free Lap Collective. All right, thanks, Steve. Thanks for being on Bike Life Radio.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, have a good ride.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
Okay. Tell me your name again.
Brooke Summers.
Brooke Summers.
Yeah.
Picture with your microphone.
You can take a picture of us.
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Brooke Summers, you have a bike sign.
I do have a bike sign.
Yeah, and what does it say?
It reads, "None of us are free until all of us are free." So from one of my favorites, Bob Marley, and it felt very appropriate. Yeah, since a fellow cyclist is just terrible news about a week ago, and I'm so happy to see so many of riders coming together coast to coast to honor Alex Pretti, honor his legacy, honor ourselves as people who believe in civil rights.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know what a bike sign is. What is a bike sign?
Well, for me, it is a toilet paper box of cardboard that I covered in in just some printer paper. And, I think I've gone to a few protests, and you can make signs to hold up, but it means something a little special to put a sign on your bike. So our bikes have front triangles, and they are perfect billboards for these signs. So it's nice to have a way to kind of demonstrate our sentiments without having to hold a sign up all day. And I don't know, maybe it needs to stay on my bike for a little while.
You could put your bike on a stick and then hold your bike up.
Well, that seems enough. Yeah, I could do that. It's a light bike, but it's not that light.
I could do that. Yeah, but would I want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, so none of us are free until all of us are free. And that was one of your favorite Bob Marley lyrics that you put on your bike sign. And what does that mean to you in terms of Alex Pretti, would you say? Brooke Summers.
Brooke Summers. We have been seeing, every day it feels like worse and worse news from this administration, right? And when Renee Good was murdered, that hit close to home to me because I could have seen myself in that position. I'm a mom of a young child. I drive around with my dog in the car. I would stand up for my neighbors. Should ICE come to Reno and harass people that we care about? And then when it happened again with Alex, it continued to come too close to my heart and to home, if you will, too close to communities that I identify with. Not that anyone should be subject to civil rights violations, but it is continuing to come closer and closer to home and to my heart. And it felt like I needed to say something, and I will continue to say something. I have been since 2016 when I first protested against this current administration.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting point, is how it hits close to home, that somebody driving in a car with a dog, protecting their neighbors or speaking up for their neighbors, and then Alex Pretti being a cyclist and a bike packer, somebody that we can relate to. And that, I think, is something for me, when I saw all the people in Minneapolis standing up, what do they have in common with immigrants who are being targeted by ICE, right? And so I wasn't really understanding what it was that made them stand up. And I guess it's really just kind of looking out for your neighbors and knowing your neighbors, and that Minneapolis is different than Reno in many ways, or other cities throughout the United States, and maybe that it's a tighter knit community or something. What's your sense of why some people want to stand up for neighbors that they may not have a whole lot in common with?
I think because it's just simply unfair, unjust, and straight illegal treatment of people. My husband is a non-citizen. He has a green card. He was uncomfortable to come on this ride today, which is really sad. Yeah. It's unlikely that he would be targeted, which is also sad, that people are being racially targeted. And he's Canadian, but I look at my husband and I say he isn't here for any other reason than anybody else would be. And if for other reasons, people come to the United States for opportunity, for safety, to avoid violence, and I don't think they should be targeted because of that. Everyone deserves to be treated by the law. The law is the law, and treated with just decency. The way they're targeting folks at schools, Children are scared in classrooms. Just from what I'm hearing of reports in Minneapolis. I understand Minneapolis is a tight community, but I would say Reno is too. And I think if it were to happen in our home here, I would hope, I would expect, and I would be part of a resistance against ICE in Reno.
Yeah, and to stand up for your neighbors.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is something that you're interested in doing and standing up for your neighbors. Does it make you fearful to do that, to stand up to your neighbors? Because that's what I hear from a lot of people is, don't insert yourself in that because, you could be shot. And which makes me fearful, to participate in something like that. Like, if I come to this ride, am I going to be targeted and shot, or
mauled by a vehicle? I mean, yeah, those things crossed my mind 100%. When I left, my husband took off with our baby, and he was like, just be careful. Your baby needs you. And it's really unfortunate that a peaceful gathering of folks on bikes being a machine of freedom, right, in history, especially in women's history, something that I think about a lot. We shouldn't have to be worried about that. And the fact that we shouldn't have to be worried about that is why I'm trying. You got to push that fear aside and come together. Eventually, I'm going to see all my friends here. That's going to make me feel more at ease. It's a beautiful day. I think there's a lot going on today in our community in memory of Alex Pretti. So I hope that folks are cautious and respectful and careful. But we can't be scared. Shouldn't be scared anywhere. Not in any city, coast to coast, north to south.
Yeah. And we should stand up for what we believe.
100%.
Brooke, you're listening to KWNK 97.7 FM. She's at the bike ride that's a memorial for Alex Pretti, who was shot and killed in the back by ICE in Minneapolis. And he was a peaceful protester at the time trying to protect someone. And so we're about to go on this bike ride. I did have another thought, but it has since left. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Because Mountain Dog just showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Best bike shop in Reno.
Yes, Mountain Dog.
With a really sweet old Merlin. Look at that.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it's got like an e-bike hub on it too, I think. Or is that
It's internal shifting.
That's what it is. All right. Yeah, so that's part of one of these events is we all get to look at each other's cool bikes, I guess.
So we're just a bunch of bike nerds, which, and the fact that Alex Pretti was among us, these are the nicest folks. Like, bike nerds are really just nice. We are nerds.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk about bikes and go on bike rides and, be fit and healthy and be outside. Like, we're just the most non-violent, non-oppressing people in this country. So it's terrible that one of us was targeted.
Yeah, and so, I guess that's the thought that came to mind. I'm not sure if I really want to talk about it, but on my way over here, I was like, if I saw ICE, would I start blowing a whistle? And would that cause them to come and try and get me? And, would I have to run away, or do I just stand there and keep blowing my whistle? Like, has that gone through your mind? Like, what would you do?
No, I'm trying not to think about that. I think, are we in a bubble where we are in a very small city and that it's unlikely we'll be targeted? And if Nevada were targeted, it'd probably happen in Las Vegas first. I mean, I've talked about this with my husband, because he is concerned.
A friend of mine who does the Hump Day ride in Las Vegas was targeted by ICE and taken into custody. Wow. So the Wednesday ride, weekly ride,
No, that's awful. Yeah. So, it may be happening here, but...
that was down in Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that it is happening in Nevada to some extent, and it has always happened in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. But this is a different approach. So illegal immigrants and immigrants who have committed other crimes have always been targeted in Las Vegas, but this is way, way different.
It's policing. It's a military state in the streets from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. You look very sad, Brooke. This is very concerning for you.
Yeah, it is concerning. It's hard to look away from the news. It's hard to think about bearing this for another year if midterms go well. I feel like the Justice Department has failed us. I feel like our senators in Congress have failed us. I mean, there seems to be a little bit of a shakeup in the lawmakers currently, but it's not enough. I mean, people have been killed, and more probably will be. And I hate that this is a Republican versus Democrat issue when no, this is a civil rights issue, and civil rights impacts every single person in the United States.
Brooke, at the Alex Pretti Memorial Ride, thank you for being on Bike Life Radio.
Thank you.
I hope that it is a safe ride.
Yeah.
I think it will be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep it
But you
tight.
never know. Like, I mean, if we're all like riding down the street, you know, who's to say that somebody isn't going to come and just try and mow us all down, right? Yeah. I mean, it's somebody who disagrees, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's another sign over there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking to
Yeah,
people
go
who
get
have
the signs.
signs.
Yeah,
All right,
nice
thank
to
you
meet you.
again. Good to meet you too. And you have a sign, and so I thought maybe I
sure
would
do.
talk to you.
Can I finish my bite of my
Sure.
oatmeal bar?
Yes,
Thank
you
you
can
very
finish
much.
your bite of your oatmeal bar.
Thank you so much. Oh, well, I didn't even see your
And
sign.
drink some
hell yeah.
fluids.
Yeah. Abolish ice.
Yeah.
Let me take my thought about doing that. Pit vipers off too. Okay.
That's okay. Those are pretty rad glasses.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You're listening to Bike Life Radio, KWNK 97.7 FM, and we're in Mayberry Park in Reno, and we're talking to folks at the Alex Pretti Memorial Ride, which is about to start. And you have a sign. What's your name?
My name is Audrey George.
Audrey George. What's your sign say?
My sign says abolish ICE.
Oh. And so why do you believe that ICE should be abolished?
I believe that ICE should be abolished because immigrants make the world a better place, and specifically they have improved my life.
In what way?
To cite a specific example, I recently completed an art mentorship, and it was taught by a Ukrainian woman who immigrated here, and she leveled up my art game immensely and is someone that I consider a really close mentor to this day. And that is just one of many examples of how people are more likely, if they're immigrants, to start businesses here. So there is an economic reason for having immigrants in this country, you know, beyond just their value as a human.
You know, what's kind of neat about this is that it gives us an opportunity to talk about the value of immigrants at the same time as they're being targeted and deported and taken into custody. What are you going to think about on this bike ride as we remember Alex Pretti? What's going to come to mind for you?
What immediately comes to mind is all of the ways that we can show up as people in active resistance peacefully. There's actually more than 100 ways to peacefully resist other than marching in the street and protesting, which can seem scary, especially because we are here honoring the life of Alex Pretti, who was murdered while he was peacefully protesting. And biking is something that I really enjoy. It's a way to just really get out there, commute without spending gas money, and it's such a great way to honor somebody's interests while doing something that you love. And no matter what hobbies you have or interests you have, you can use that as a voice for good.
Thank you for being on Bike Life Radio.
Yes, of course.
Been listening to Bike Life Radio, KWNK 97.7 FM. We're going to see if we can find some other folks. It's Josh.
Yeah. Abear.
Abear.
Spelled Hebert, pronounced Abear.
Abear. Josh Abear with an H.
Yes, correct. It's a French name. It's Abear. It's a Americanized French pronunciation, so it's like Abear in the zoo. Very simple.
And the reason we're talking to you is that we're at the Alex Pretti Memorial Ride. Everybody's just about to leave right now, or they're leaving right now, and so we got to get going. But you are running for Congress, right? Josh Abear with an H.
That is correct. I am running for Congress, not in Congress, for Congressional District 2 in the hopes of replacing Mark Amadei.
Yeah, and you've been a cyclist for a long time.
I've been a cyclist pretty much my whole life. Apparently, the one thing that I ever pitched a fit for when I was a kid was a tricycle. And I have been obsessed with things with wheels ever since.
And now, riding here today, what brings you out and why?
Well, I mean, the murder of Alex Pretti was it was a traumatic experience. I mean, I've already been sort of radicalized about what's going on, but I apparently I wasn't as radicalized as I could be, and I am definitely more radicalized now. And I wanted to be out here to show support and memory for a fellow cyclist who was murdered in the street by Trump's government thugs.
Josh Ebert running for Congress to replace Mark Amadei. Thanks for being on Bike Life Radio, Josh.
All right, thank you.
You listen to Bike Life Radio, KWNK 97.7 FM from the Nevada Bicycle Coalition. We're on every Sunday at 5:30